Welcome to Danu on Fire right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today I'm super happy to have someone who's absolutely cute and she's really kind, very approachable, and that's what makes her special. I'm very happy to have Madhi Malar. Yeah, a lot of people won't say it. So she's known as Madhi in Sri Lanka.
Correct.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
And thank you for joining me here. You look beautiful.
Thank you, Danu.
I think you're the most dressed for Danu on Fire. And I sort of quickly matched her. And I was like, let's me wear red.
Let's infuse some colors.
Yeah, and it looks like a perfect green and red go very well.
Correct.
We're at Life's Good Kitchen. If you have not been here, brilliant food. It's actually good food that they give you. And I love the food that they give. It's wholesome and it's done so well and so clean and so neat. And it's a cute place to be at. All right, Madhi. I like how she explained to him. Madhi, not enough.
I know.
That's your little way of explaining it.
Correct.
So Madhi, you were in the public eye in Sri Lanka for a long time.
Correct.
Because you married a cricketing megastar. Yeah.
Correct.
And at that time they were like, oh, he married an Indian girl. That was the story.
Correct.
But from that day to today, you look the same.
I guess I'm having a happy life. I love Sri Lanka. I've been here for 17 years now.
Wow.
17 long years. Yeah. So when I go back to India, I love India. I like to go back to my house, my family. But when I come back to Sri Lanka, it's home.
You feel it.
This is home now for me. Yes.
That's amazing. When you got married at the peak of his career as well, did you ever think that you'll be also sort of taken into all this limelight in one go?
Never. I was just completely flabbergasted to see that so much of attention I was getting from the media. I was not prepared at all.
And you're also not a girl like that.
I come from, my family background is not as such. We're not
Okay.
exposed to such publicity. It was very new, very intimidating, but I just went with the flow.
Right. But we always see, I think Murali is a great example of, whatever happens, even if your shot is going to be merciless, he always smiles when he's hitting that terrible shot that might give a 6 or an out, one of the two. Is that how he is in life? He always smiles through all his challenges?
Yes. He actually loves to face a challenge. Some people, when they see a challenge, they take a moment to maybe step back and have a comfort zone. Murali is not like that. He will go all charging towards the challenge, and he likes to, overcome that. That is a lovely example. So I would normally take him like a mentor when it comes to this phase of life, where he sort of faces the challenge and tries to overcome it. It's lovely. It's stressful, but lovely.
Stressful because you had to hope to deal with it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But lovely.
So when you were growing up, were you someone who followed Sri Lankan cricket?
No, I didn't.
And now who do you support?
But my father did. I will tell you that.
Because you have a Sri Lankan root, like a
Yes.
small stem.
I don't think many people know this. I'm actually a Malaysian citizen by passport, right?
Right, okay.
Which means I was born in Malaysia.
My grandmother was also the same.
Fab.
Yeah.
So now my grandmother is a Malaysian and my
Right.
mother is a Malaysian. But my grandmother is from Sri Lanka, Jaffna.
Right.
So I've got the Jaffna blood and I've got the Indian blood.
Right.
Because my father is an Indian. I was raised in India for about 25 years.
So more or less, the earlier generation was more Indian. So the
Correct.
Like you're the third generation.
I'm the third generation.
Right. Okay. Oh, very much like my grandma's story. Yeah, she gave up her citizenship when she got married to my grandfather. Yeah, I should have advised her now. No. But in terms of you when you were growing up, how was life in India?
I have a twin sister
Oh.
and I have a younger sister. So
Does the twin look identical?
just like me. There are many a times her husband and my husband and my kids have got confused.
Oh my God.
This is, I'm like talking about when I was 26, 27, like that.
Right.
Way
You
younger.
look identical still?
No, not anymore. You would pass us on for sisters, because if she walks now, you might like, Madhi, but you look a little different, you would say.
Yeah.
But yes.
Oh, I never knew you had a twin.
But when Murali had his 708 wicket function
Yeah.
in Water's Edge, we had the family over.
Right.
I was inside with some of our friends. She was outside, and we had so many cricketers went to her and said, "Congratulations, your husband."
And just because
And she just stood there and smiled.
yeah,
nicely.
because I'm sure she would have tried explaining, and then
I mean, how long is she going to explain?
that
right?
is true.
So, yeah.
That is true. It's yeah, you know, that's cool. All right, when we do come back, we're going to be speaking more to Madhi. Do stick around. This is Danu. Welcome back to the show. We're at Life's Good Kitchen. I must say, things have sort of shut down here, so we are the only ones. But then, because of our arrival, we have one of our dear friends who have put a small visit here. Soundari, David, Rodrigo, a big hi to you. We like to keep it very reality-like. We're in conversation with Madhi. So, Madhi, I was going to ask you, so there was, so you come from a family of doctors.
Correct.
Yeah. You never wanted to take it up.
My mother suggested, since we are twins, one to take over medicine and one to do management
That
of
is
the
true.
hospital. Correct.
Done. You know, my family, they're all doctors. Everyone. Up to my father, they were all
Wow,
doctors.
okay.
But I was just too good to do medicine. I broke the tradition. 10 generations I broke it.
Wow, 10 generations of doctors.
Doctors. That's a record, right?
That is a record, yes.
Thank you, thank you. A lot of people don't appreciate such things, you know, to stop a generation.
Yeah, but tell me, if you were a doctor, what would you have been then?
Good question. I don't know.
Gynecologist.
I might send the babies back here. I'm like, okay, now this child is crying. Okay, so that because I think a lot of people do think that you're also a doctor because
Yeah, many people, yes.
yeah, because you look alike. You might have been you're a doctor of life. That's what matters. Now, you know, it's so amazing. You know, Murali still holds the record as the first and only Tamil representative in the team. And it's such a great honor, especially me being a Tamil. And to know that there's a film coming out about him is remarkable. It's such an honor. Unfortunately, my casting to play in that, I couldn't make it happen. I was not here. But they shot most of the scenes in Sri Lanka. Tell me, have you ever looked at him and thought, you know, you are like Muralidaran to others, but to me you're just Murali.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Even my children, yes.
Yeah.
They go, you know, they always, my son, he follows cricket and he plays cricket. So he idolizes other cricketers.
Yeah. And he must be like, I'm just in this house.
When my husband gives him an advice, it just goes on top of his head because it doesn't mean anything to him
Yeah.
because he's idolizing someone else, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, all the time it happens.
I know it's
We're taking him for granted.
I know it's surreal.
No,
to
it's
like,
not true. No, it's not true.
But it's the fact that for you, first he's a husband, then he's a dad to your kids, and
Correct.
those are the things that matter the most.
Correct.
As someone who has dealt with Sri Lanka for the past 17 years, has Sri Lanka been nice to you, the people, I mean?
To me,
Yeah.
definitely yes. Absolutely yes. I've got loads of friends in pockets. Like I said, this is my home now. I have to come back.
Have the wives been nice to you?
The wags, you mean? The wags. Now that you bring it in, we are just going to meet very soon.
Okay.
We've got some of the wives who have traveled back from Australia to Sri Lanka. We'll be meeting them after a long time.
Right.
But 6-7 years, something like that.
Because I have always been told there is politics amongst the wives as well. You know, it's always like in the OBU committee, that's the Old Boys Union Committee of a school, the wives also have their committee.
So when there are a group of ladies, you
That
can
is true.
always expect something.
That is true.
It's not gossip, well, it's just information gaining, right?
Yes.
There's always there. But they are all nice. They're all friendly. They're all fine. The thing is that now I don't get to interact with them more.
No,
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You are now in the senior category.
Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
No,
I'm more on the advice panel.
Yeah, you're on the panel now. You're on the panel. Everyone needs a promotion.
Correct.
But you know, something about cricket is the fact that, you know, there's so much of gossip around. There's something to say about every cricketer. But how is it at home? Do you take these into consideration? Do you confront Murali?
You mean
Like
the
if you-
backlashes Murli gets?
Yeah. Or like even gossip about him. Like they'll be like, oh, you know this about Murali. And
Okay, gossip about Murli is something I've never come across because I don't think he falls into that stream.
No, not
He's
the-
not that good looking to.
Amazing.
In the sense, what I was trying to say is,
People
he's
love
not a
his-
Virat Kohli.
please, he's
No,
nothing.
let me finish.
I don't know
He's
whether
a
to say bad
legend of
about Virat Kohli because you might just.
No, what I meant to say is that Virat has a lot of fan
Yeah,
followers,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Murli's got a lot of respect and
True.
idealization from fans.
Yeah.
So I really don't have to worry about him being looked otherwise. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very
He's
secure.
not a sex symbol of many. He's an
To me,
idol
yes.
to many. There you go. No, for you, definitely he is.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's that. But then when there are backlashes, no matter what it is, I'm always going to support Murli. I will always.
That's amazing.
Always.
Anyway, if he doesn't get that support from home, wherever he gets it from, it's never going to make sense.
Yes and yes.
That's amazing. I must tell you, we accidentally met, but it has been such a fulfilling meetup, the two of us. We have so much to talk when we do come back after the break. Do stick around. It's Danu. Segment, we're in conversation with Madhi, and we wanted to say something very clearly. The love that people have towards Murali is admiration.
That's
Not
right.
administration, admiration.
It's admiration,
Yeah.
yes.
And what do we have towards others may not be discussed at this very moment. Correct. So now in conversation, I wanted to ask you, what keeps you busy apart from being a mom, being a wife?
Right. So before I married Muri, I was running the hospital segments, right?
Right.
We were doing the cardiothoracic. So I felt the working life, which was very nice, very challenging. Then I married Muri. It took some time
But
for
you were
me.
very young when you married him, right?
25? 25, yeah. And not young as per orthodox South Indian standards. We're supposed to marry at 22, but 25, yes.
Gosh.
Yeah. So, and then I took some time to settle in this country. And I had my son soon as I got married. So, then I'm a new mom. It took me some while to settle as well. Then I was telling Muri that I would like to go back to working because it's nice, it's challenging.
Yeah.
So now I do that in our own factory. I run the sales and marketing.
Right.
And Muri runs the management there.
Okay.
And that's how I keep myself busy.
Right. Because it also keeps you active, right? It
Correct.
gives you a purpose to wake up, apart from the usual thing that you do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Usual parenting, you mean?
Yes, yeah, that is true. Now, lots of the times when you are married to a cricketer, they're out of the house because they're touring, traveling. How was it for you?
tough.
Oh, I know.
I hated it. Very,
Especially
very,
because
very
you
tough.
were here as well during that.
Yes. So initially I felt it a lot because it was a new country. I had no friends, no family to support,
Yeah.
and a young child and a new parent, a new mother. It was tough.
Combination is bad.
Very bad. And the lane we were staying in, at the Kumarage, the Parliament grounds, it wasn't that developed. There was no Hemas, there was nothing. There was only Cargills. There's
Just like this blank road, yeah.
And just like that, it developed.
Yeah.
You know, over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. So when my son was a little older, I started to travel with Muri.
Right, it's much easier.
Much
Yeah.
fun.
You know, back in the days, they used to let the wives stay with the husband, right, in the room.
Always wives can. Only
But
the
not-
girlfriends can't stay.
But now they have even asked the wives to stay out because the husbands are tired.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that.
I heard that,
I stayed and he got his 800 wickets.
No, like the baby may cry and they are not performing the utmost best when they come out.
I truly don't know what's happening now in Sri Lankan cricket.
There you
but
go.
whilst we were there, the family was allowed to stay.
Okay, now if I ask you, who is your favorite cricketer?
Looks wise or technique wise?
Okay, looks wise, let's start there. That's where I will start.
I always think Rahul looks nice.
Okay.
Rahul Dravid, not
Yes, yes.
Rahul Dravid, yes, okay. But Murali is a legend.
Yes. There you go.
So,
Murali is-
hands down,
Okay.
Murali is a legend.
Sri Lanka, your favorite cricketer is Murali.
Of course.
Currently?
Current Sri Lankan team?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tell you the truth. I'm still
Learning the
seeing-
names.
Exactly, looking at the faces and learning the names.
Because
Correct.
they change so often.
Often,
I
yes.
know. And you don't have the same faces
And I don't
repeating.
get to see them outside as well,
That
so
is true.
it's tough.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So let's say this. The Sri Lankan team is playing, the Indian team is playing. You are watching the game. Who would you cheer for?
Done to that question, this is. I love both my countries very much.
Right.
Very much.
But
They're like my two kids, I'm going to say. Like I
Uh-huh.
can't pick and choose between India and Sri Lanka. I love them both. But I have this weird thing.
Right.
When I'm in Sri Lanka, because all Sri Lankans support Sri Lanka,
yeah.
I support India.
Okay, as the
When I'm in India, when all Indians are supporting India, I support
for Sri Lanka.
because then I vehemently go and argue with them and stand
So
for our country.
we were once at a place where we were watching India Sri Lanka, and the whole place was cheering for Sri Lanka, and this was a go India, go India, and they lost.
I don't remember.
I remember this very
I
clearly.
love both my countries.
And and at one point I was too loud, and I looked at her, and she's like. But yeah, it's fair. You need to balance both the deeds. Anyway, it's hard balancing that.
So Murali always tells me, don't support either countries, support Malaysia.
Just completely go off the rail.
Go off the radar, support Malaysia.
Yeah, it's easier. No, you're safer that way. Anyways, thank you so very much. I must say, I'm so happy that I met you and I got to know you, Madhi. There's something so childlike and so kind about you that really draws people close to you, and thank you for being that way, because it's very rare that you find people like that. Thank you for being so amazing, so punctual. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Danu, for having me on this show.
We want to give our love to Murali. Hello. And at the same time, this beautiful
This
place.
is just do this. That's the way.
Thank you so very much to our friends here at this beautiful restaurant for hosting us once again. Come check it out. Amazing food done by this wonderful couple. They cook from their heart and they serve it for you. We will see you soon with another cool episode to Danu and Fatih that keep smiling into life.